Now, because we are actually extending the view, as you can see here, we can also extend other widgets such as text edit or text view or buttons or any other subclass of view. We can also extend it and customize those views as well. What I mean by this is, let's go back to our package here. I'm going to right click, say Java class. I'm going to call this custom text view. And the superclass, this is going to extend text view. Make sure that's text view Android widget. Okay, say okay. And there we go. Oh, this has to be text view. I always get that problem. All right, let's get rid of this. And of course, the mandatory constructor. Let's just use the second one here. That's fine. There we go. And it always asks now for us to actually implement the compact one. But in this case, all right, why not? Let's do this one. Okay. So this is essentially the same text view, but it's because we talk about compatibility here, they're forcing us to actually call the app compact compatible text view. Same difference. So let's go ahead and say on draw. You notice because we are also extending from text view, which extends from view, we still have this on draw method. Right? There we go. So that means if we go ahead at the top here, let's go ahead and create a private. I'm going to call this paint. Say text color for now. Okay. So we can do the same thing. Let's go and say public void init. I always like to have an init that we can call this inside of our constructor as such. So let's go ahead and do the same thing we did. We're going to go paint. I'm going to say pass in anti-alias, anti-flag there. There we go. And let's go to text color that we're going to set the color. I'm going to say color that parse, say blue. Okay, so now we have our color which we can use, right? It's a brush paint type. Now I can go ahead and say canvas dot draw text. Look at that, I have a few constructors here. Let's start with this one here. I want a simpler one. Let's see, I want just to draw, for instance, what is the text I want to draw? I'm going to draw hello world, and where I want it to be, I want to say get width, let's say measure width, divide by 2. For y, get height, say measure height, divide that by 2 as well. And for paint, let's use our text color as such. I always like to say canvas.save before anything. And now let's go back to our main activity here. Instead of the drawing, let's instantiate our custom text. Say custom text. And I'm going to pass this. And of course, I'm going to pass null for attributes. Okay. And I'm going to call the custom text. Save and give it a run. You should see that we should have hello world. Very small hello world. It's almost impossible to see. Well, let's fix that. Let's go back to our custom here. Because we know our paint object has all the properties that are inflicted onto the actual view, we can say text color. I'm going to set size or text size. Look at this. I can go ahead and say, for instance, 24 or 25. F, save and give it a run. Okay, it's better. Let's say we want this to be 125F. Let's give it a run. Look at that, there's hello world. And of course, we want it to be in the middle of the screen. You remember now, this is indeed in the middle, but the problem is this is indeed in the middle, but maybe not in the middle the way we are envisioning it to be. Because remember what we had with our bitmap, we want to find the middle this middle here to put in the middle of the screen. We can do the same thing here. I'm going to go ahead and say, canvas dot get height. I'm going to divide that by 2 and subtract that. Let's just put inside of parentheses. That way we just get the values. Okay, let's save and run and see if this is gonna do what we hope, at least in the, there we go. So we noticed how everything is to the middle, and that looks decent to me. Maybe we could adjust it, but that's totally fine. Okay, that looks very good to me. And of course, because we have our text color, in fact, this is not good naming. Let's name this something. Let's just name it paint. That way it's more appropriate. Because text color, it assumes it's just text color, which is not. Okay, let's say paint again. Let's say, what else can we set? Paint, if you wanted, we can set the text align. Set text align. Right, we can say paint, we can say align, we want it to be, for instance, center. Just save this and give it a run. Oops, variable text, let's see, where did we, all right, let's try again. There we go. Align center. That means if we get rid of this, because we probably don't need that anymore, if we just have that, that should probably work better for us. Let's give it a run. There we go. Right? So we can, instead of measuring using different, instead of actually in code, instead of draw and set things up here, we can just put it in the middle, but then we can just call the paint align, the set align, and put it center. If we didn't want to be center, we can say left, right, and so forth. I'll see you next.